Hey, welcome to Connectronix. I'm Steve, and I'm just writing something with my light up LG pen. Don't mind me, I'm just gonna put that in the pocket of my LG shirt. Why would I be doing such a thing? And why am I not in the showroom today, but looks like at a job site? Why? Because today is LG Day. And not only that, but it's an awesome LG Day because today we are unboxing the all-new 65 OLED G3! Woo! So stick around if you want to see what it's all about. Mama need an aspirin and the heating pad. Welcome back, and yes, my back's doing a lot better. Those aspirin have kicked in, so thanks for asking. But seriously, if you watched one of the previous videos, you'll recognize this system. Because of this cabinet that was upgraded, we had to upgrade the system to a monitor audio system. And at that time, I mentioned how this smaller TV was going to be upgraded next because the TV was on order. Well, there's the TV. This TV is last year's C2, and this is a 48-inch. So the C series is right below the G series. And the 48-inch, they only made in the C series. They didn't make a G series version. So as far as what could fit in that last cabinet, this was the best TV that you could get last year. And now, this is the best TV you can get this year. And nobody's got it. You don't got it. I don't even know how we got it. There might be a few rep samples or review samples floating around where people are doing reviews on them. But as far as end user boxes, there's very few out there. I'm not saying this is the only one, but it's very few because it is that new. So we're super excited about this. I don't know how we got it, but we did. And I just picked it up today, and I figured let's shoot this thing and get this installed because not only am I excited about this thing, but the customer's excited because they got this big cabinet with a little TV in it. So let's get this thing cracked open and see what it's all about. Alrighty, let's go! Yes, the all-new G3 for 2023. And as you can see on the box, one of the things about this TV, 5-year warranty from the manufacturer. So that's really odd to have a TV from the manufacturer with a 5-year warranty. That's pretty darn impressive. So let's see how they want us to do this. Oh, slap it up, flip it, rub it down. Oh no! Nope, that's not how we do it. Here we go. Easy peasy. And look at that, you got the back side. Alright, so the front's over here. Maybe I should turn that around for you so you can see it. And then we'll also show you what is all in the box, because I know the other stuff's in the top of the box over here, because they always put it there. So let's flip this around. Well, what the heck? You're looking at the back, let's look at the back. Oh, nice. This does come with a wall mount bracket to keep the TV very thin, and that's what this area is for. It has a bracket that comes in and out. And so that's built in and sinks right into this space to keep it super tight and close to the wall, which is really awesome because when you see it done, it's very tight and it looks like it's a piece of, literally it's a piece of art. Like you can make it look like a piece of art with how they do that. And all the connections are kind of sunk in here, and then they give you this channel to run the wires through, power cable down here. They always tape that on there, which is nice, right? As far as the wall mount, I'll get into that in a little bit, but the TV itself with this bracket, wall mounting it, obviously we're not going to do that here, but you can buy a stand for this TV separate. This TV does not come with a stand. So we're not going to be using that way. Although it's going in this cabinet and this one is on a stand, we're not going to be putting it on a stand. We're going to do something different that I thought about, and hopefully it works out well, just like everything else in this system has been working out. But we're not going to do that here. So let's flip this around. All right, and we'll show you there. I don't know what to see. I mean, it's just a TV with it off. But look how small those bezels are. Very small bezel around the TV. And I'll show you what it looks like from the side. The edge is very small. Thicker than some of the other OLEDs, but it doesn't have the big base on it that most of the other ones do. So this thickness is the same throughout the entire TV, and that wall bracket keeps that TV super tight. So what is that, like an inch thick from the wall that you'd have this TV, and that would be all you would see, and there's no gap behind it then. And we've done some other ones where we install it like that, and it's very neat to see because the end result is you're looking from the side and that TV is like right up against the TV and there's no gap or whatever you typically would see with some of the wall mounts that are behind it. So for us, we got a cabinet, we don't have to worry about that. Okay, so out of the top part of the box, you got the wall mount bracket. Like I said, we're not going to be using it, but the way this works is it's kind of a hinged type bracket that goes on the back. And then the other parts here, let's see, I'm sure it's just the remote and a manual and maybe some batteries, right? And it's got the magic remote, and the magic remote also has the voice on it where you can press the button and talk to it. Yep, so very similar to what last year's were. Same type of thing. And an emitter in the box. I don't know if you really need to see all of this stuff, but what the heck, we'll show you, right? This is some paperwork. Gotta love paperwork. LG OLED TV Owner's Manual. I find it hard to believe that this is the owner's manual. Like, there's got to be a lot of stuff to learn about this TV that they're not going to tell you in this paper. But there it is. And I don't know why they always seem to just crumple it all up. I don't get that part. So, register your product. Here's a manual for the remote, which I kind of told you about using the magic remote. But you buy a TV, and why couldn't they just put it in the box to keep it flat? They give you this. So, pet peeve maybe? I don't know, but this isn't exactly the most convenient way to read your stuff. I don't know, weird. And then the batteries, and like I said, the emitter. So we'll put the batteries in the remote right away. Oh, let me show you. We're gonna put the batteries in the remote. One goes here, the other one goes here. This goes here. Done. But this remote looks, oh, see, I just turned the TV on. It's very similar to, this is the C2 from last year. Here's the G3. It says Sling down here and Alexa. Alexa's there. So very similar, almost the same, right? What, they changed one button? It looks like that's all they changed is that button right there. Get the one from the dots to a Sling. So anyway, we're going to turn that off. And what we'll do then is start getting this set up. What I came up with is to use an articulating wall mount. And this is an articulating wall mount by Peerless. We pretty much exclusively do Peerless almost on all of our jobs. They're a great company and they're pretty much local here, not far from here at all, in Aurora, Illinois. And so it's a US company and they're great and stand behind their products. One thing I will say as far as mounts, I actually did a post about it, was we did a job where a customer called us up. They tried to mount the TV themselves with some inexpensive wall mount they bought off the internet. And we went there and the TV was literally hanging. One side was grabbed into a stud and the rest ripped out. And it actually bent the bracket on the back. And we took that TV down and we put it up with a Peerless. So these people that will spend, you know, $1,800 in this case on a TV, and then they go and spend, you know, $30, $40 on a mount to mount it on the wall, it just doesn't make sense. So I'm not saying these mounts are cheap and they're not super expensive, but it's important to have a good mount for your good TVs. Like, why would you want to hang it with something inexpensive? The TVs, although are getting lighter, you think you just put a nail in a wall and hang it like a picture, they're getting that light. This thing is still 56 pounds, I think. But anyway, with the articulating wall mount, my thought with this now is to mount it behind on this wall and have that mount come out, and because of the subwoofers behind it, the TV needs to be out here. So if it works how I'm planning on it, the TV will literally be out here floating. And it'll be nice because it'll have a gap all the way underneath, so you won't see a stand, and the TV will just be floating out here, keeping that space away for the subs to still sit back there and yet have the TV move. So we just got to make sure the stud's in the right location and I have enough room for the arm. But everything like that should work okay and be able to get that TV sitting in here and make it look great. So that's the plan. Okay, so to unbox this mount, what we have, like I mentioned, was an articulating mount. Actual instruction manual, and it's not all curled up. Imagine that, huh? And then this is the guide for the bracket that you hold up against the wall and level it, and then you'll know where to screw the lags into your studs. Here's the main mount itself. Take this out and you'll see how this will work. And so this here will go on the wall. This will go where the TV is, and that'll get that TV out there floating in the position that we need it. So that's the plan. Let's hope that all works out. Here's all the screws and the fasteners, your lag bolts that will go in the wall. Some more. Look at all that stuff. Fancy. And then this is the bracket that goes above and below on the back of the TV, because you can use a VESA mount on that, which is nice. These are covers that go over the top and bottom of the bracket just to hide that stuff. And then the main wall plate. So this is for the TV. These go on here. Everything bolts together. You have the top and the bottom. So I'll put this together. Okay, so this part will mount on the back of the TV, this will go on the wall, and then this clips onto that, which is clipping it onto the TV. So let's pull the TV out and we'll get this bracket on it next. Okay, so I got the TV here. We'll have to get this mounted to the back of the TV here. That's the next step. We need these screws and a screwdriver. Okay, they're all snugged up, snug like a bug in a rug. Okay, so the rest of those we don't need. I hang on to them and I put them in bins, so always got screws. Anyway, take this now, and this will go onto here. And then what I need to do is figure out how much this TV, once that's on there, where the bottom of this TV is to the bottom of this. And then that will help us determine how high I need to mount this on the wall, because we want the bottom of the TV just to be floating above the top of that cabinet. So one of the best ways of doing that is to fold this up. And this does go up. You see there is some tilt to it as well. But that's where that bracket sits. Then it sits like that. So then I need to measure from the bottom of that to the bottom of this. And that will tell us how high I need to go. Looks like 6.5. So I know there's going to be some play. That's just the nature of things. So by the time it extends out, it's going to be drooping a little bit. So I got 6.5. And so to be safe, I think I'm gonna need to make it probably around 7, probably 7.5, because I'm gonna need at least a 1/2 inch gap there, because that would be the best way to do it, is have a good 1/2 inch. Got our template here. I need to stud find the wall. I think there's one right there. That would be perfect. Yep, there's a stud there. Okay, let me mark that. I put white tape on the wall right where our mark is. Double check it then. Okay, so I'm going to mark the height of the cabinet just with the pencil here, and make another mark at 7.5. So now line up our template. I see my mark here. All right, we're going to make sure this is level. All right, so pilot holes. Drill an 1/8 inch. You got to do that before you actually drill. So 1/8 inch pilot hole. Brush this on the floor. We'll vacuum that up.
Nobody needs to know.
Got my little socket thing in here for the legs. This makes it so much easier. Remember back in the day, you used to have to with a ratchet. Oh my gosh, that was such a pain. That's how you know you're getting stuff done, is when you're making noise. Gotta level it. Wow. It's perfect. Of course it is, right? Okay, before we go any further, we got our plastic caps that go over the hardware. Nobody wants to see that ugliness, right? Gotta make it fancy. I'm telling you, Peerless, great company. Great people over there too. Now it's gonna be a matter of trying to lift that TV up onto there. Okay, so it looks like we're set. Let's see if we can get this on there. There is a plastic film over the front of the TV, so you can touch it if you want. It's not terribly heavy, just a little awkward. So I gotta get that round disc right there. Let's see how this works. Okay, got it up. Wasn't so bad, huh? I just got to get the screw in the middle, which keeps it from the tilt from turning side to side. All right, now I just got to take this power cable and feed that down. I actually like when the TVs give you a detachable power cable, because then, like the other cables, you can run the power cable wherever you need to go with it, and then put the TV in. At least I'll say this cord is a lot longer than the previous cord, so that will make it nicer. We'll tuck it to the other side so I can get our connections done. And I know you can't see anything, so I shouldn't be recording. It'd be nice if I can get that under that shelf just a little bit, because two things. One, that shelf's going to help keep that level, because you saw that mount wants to move a little bit. It'll help keep that level, plus it'll look good being lined up perfectly with the shelf. And if I go back any more, then I'll be hitting those subs. So right there, that's perfect. What do you think? Looks good, right? Almost as if it was made for it. Would have loved to get the 77 in there, but there's no way that would work. Quite a spectacle to behold. So, what do you think? You think we should fire this bad boy up or what? Let's do it. All right, one of the last things to do before we fire it up is to peel the plastic off. And some people get a thing out of that, I don't know. They get a little too excited. But I guess it's like opening something for the first time, right? For the first time. Oh, it moved a little bit, so I'll have to fix that. Look at that. All right. Let me get rid of this. Explore the world with your LG TV. Install the apps recommended by LG. Software update, and we'll put auto update on, but then we'll check for updates now. Latest version. So there's an update, even though the TV is brand new, just came out, still an update. I'm not surprised by that. This is going to be fun to watch. Okay, so I don't know what that was, 10-15 minutes. It did update, and it says software has been installed. Update will be applied when you restart your TV. So, best thing to do is we'll just turn it off now and have at it. Okay, we got her all set up here in the cabinet. Everything's wired. We did the firmware update, went through the initial settings and got the settings kind of where they should be. I have the HDR stuff going to filmmaker mode, which shuts off all the extra stuff you don't need. So that's where it's at now. And I did tone the brightness down a little bit. I don't have it at 100%. I don't think we need it in here. We don't ever get any direct sunlight that I know of. They probably do early in the morning. So I'm going to set it so there's a bright mode and then the dark mode. So it's similar to how I had the previous OLED set up. So I just have you can see it's an IMAX 4K disc in here, which is HDR. So then the TV will kick into HDR. And then the surround sound format is part of that. So I'm just going to play this quick little clip here, and it'll kind of give you a demonstration as to what the OLED G3 with LG does this year. That's a great example of what this new TV is capable of. The other cool thing with being able to demo stuff on here would be to go to YouTube and actually get some high, like HDR 4K content. The other LG TVs, the 8Ks, you can actually go on, and there's some YouTube stuff that people will be putting on there that's actually 8K. So I'll find some 4K stuff and I'll just play that. And I know the camera's not perfect. It takes time for it to settle in on its brightness and stuff like that. But it does give you an idea of what this TV does, how well it can show it. And it's always going to be limited by the camera recording it and then what you're watching on, obviously. So it's never going to be as good as what you can see in person. It's the same thing with the sound, though. You know, playing like the surround sound, you can't pick that up on a mic and listen to it at home to make it the same. So, yeah, I just like looking at this and how well the TV fits in there, and it's a real perfect fit. So when I mentioned before about the sound bar, you can see now that it's dark, that it's kind of dark in here. I got some lights on, I can always dim those, but you can't really even tell there's a speaker down here, and that speaker fits in there perfectly. And now with the TV, it's so close to the base here. If I bought that stand, as I mentioned, it would have raised up the TV a little more, plus the extra cost of having that stand and having it sit there and have to move it and slide it in and out all the time wouldn't have been as tight a fit as what this ended up being. So like I said, I didn't know how well that mount idea would work with using the articulating mount on the wall, but it did. It worked out great. It fits into the shelf perfectly, and it lines up. So we have a 4-inch gap on each side of this cabinet. It's perfect 4 inches on each side, and the shelf comes right down to the TV. So this TV now looks like it was, you know, built for the cabinet itself, and the same thing with that speaker down below, that's built for it. So you couldn't get a tighter fit around here. So to me, I'm super happy about that. We'll see if the customer is as happy with how this TV looks. I'm sure they are. It went from a 48-inch last year to this year's G3 65. It's a spectacle. And now you can see the cabinet with everything that's involved, how much nicer it looks. I think it's awesome. So I think with the darkness, it's hard to see some of that, but you get what I'm looking at here. So I'm going to play something again, a little demo clip before we close this out. So what do you think? Pretty great, right? I told you this new G3 series from LG is just awesome. To wrap up on everything, this is the 10-year anniversary of OLED by LG. They've won a lot of awards. And I even saw a thing about how Disney is going to be using all of the new OLED TVs for all of their reference monitors and getting rid of their $30,000 monitors that they're currently using. So they're going this route, buying dozens of these things. And that to me is just awesome. That speaks volumes of someone that is very intense on what they need for picture quality. And it's super important to them that they're using a TV like this. That's awesome. And the other thing is, with the G3 over the C and the B series, is that this has a 5-year warranty from the manufacturer out of the box. And that is a huge selling feature. So instead of a 1-year warranty, it has a 5-year. And they said that if something goes wrong with the panel, they'll take the TV down, replace the panel right there, and put it right back up. And you don't got to worry about taking it in or anything like that. So to me, I'm thinking, not only are you buying a TV that's better if you go from a C up to a G, but you're getting that 5-year warranty was just awesome. And the things aren't cheap. I mean, it's an expensive TV, so to have a warranty and the manufacturer stand behind it, to me that is very cool. And it's nice that they do that. So some of the features on this is that it is 70% brighter than last year's OLED. And they did a side-by-side comparison at the training, and I could show you a picture of that. The other thing it has is an anti-reflective coating on it compared to the last year's version. And that too I can show you a side-by-side picture of, where any light coming in from a window or whatever that's hitting that will just get dissipated in the screen material, and that way it's not going to wash out your picture. So before, you're already kind of complaining about OLEDs not being bright enough. Part of that was anytime you're watching during the day and getting some light hitting that, it would wash it out, making it twice as bad. Well, now they made the panel brighter and made it so the reflective coating doesn't show that light and wash out the picture. So it's kind of a double improvement in that regard. So again, the TVs are just better in that regard. It's awesome. And the other thing it has on it is an Alpha 9 Generation 6 processor. That processor is a processor that does all of the thinking of what your picture does. So everything from up converting and dynamic tone mapping and everything from HDR content and how it's showing everything. And one of the things they have in here is a personalized picture wizard. So that is kind of neat, where it can actually kind of modify the picture brightness and color temperature and overall color based off of what the customer likes. So the customer's not here, when they get back, we can always run through that with them, and that way it'll be modified for the type of picture they like. And it's really cool how you pick photos in there of what you like, and it is an AI processor that then makes all of your content look like that. And the other thing it has is an AI for the sound. So we don't use the sound on the TVs, obviously. We like to upgrade our systems, but that's available as well. So that's also one of the big features. And the fact that this TV is brighter, it has a heat sink on the back to help dissipate that heat. And it does get warm. Not as warm as the plasmas of the old days, but it does get warm if this thing is cranked up at 100% brightness. So right now this is sitting at about 75%. So the lights are on in here right now, so I can always turn the lights down and it won't look so bad. But this is on the filmmaker mode, 75% brightness, and it's still plenty bright, I think, for average TV viewing. And if you want brighter, you can go into the ISF bright room mode, and then at nighttime you want to watch your movies, you can go to filmmaker or the ISF dark mode. So you have those different options available to you. One of the other things is, like, all the TVs are being smart TVs. You know, it's got all the other stuff down here with all your apps that you can download. You have all of that for you. And then one of the things too is, like, if I hit the off button, it'll go into this mode here where it can then display photos or whatever. And then if I hit power again, it'll actually turn off. And there's a way of getting your own photos on like a USB thumb drive and stick that in the back. And then you could have your own photos come up. So some of these photos, they're not great, but you can download different ones, and then they have, like, you know, movement. So in this case, it's like a photo, but it's you know, got a little bit of rain and stuff going on, so there's some stuff moving, a guy in a rowboat. So they have different things, so now it's kind of in their case, the gallery series. So then you have that feature where you can turn it off and now you have either some music going, or you just have a picture going, or your own photos going, and that's running in the background, and then you come and then you can hit the TV and you could get out of it. You could just go back here. Do you want to exit? Always ready. You just say yes. Then it goes back to what you were watching before. And so it's kind of always in the standby mode. We have the LG 4K Blu-ray player hooked up, and it has the HDMI CEC, so it does see that as soon as you go to it, and it'll talk to it, and that way I can still use the LG remote through the TV to go to that. And I got that IMAX disc in there, so that's how that's working. And you can see automatically it pops up the HDR in the corner, boop, and then it goes to the HDR, and then I have it set that every time HDR content comes up, if it's on YouTube or Netflix or a 4K Blu-ray player, then it's going to go to the filmmaker mode, which is right here. You can see filmmaker mode at 75%. That's just how I set it. And we'll see how it is during the day. Like I said, it's kind of dark now, so we'll see during the day if I need to brighten that up a little bit or not. But I don't think so. I think it looks pretty darn good like this, you know. Look how white the whites is. The color's just popping. It's popping. I'm sure the customers are going to be super excited to see it. And everything with this new OLED G3 TV. Thank you guys for watching everything that was involved in getting this put in and the whole system. And if you watched the last video and then now this video, you saw how we completed this entire update. And the customer is going to be super excited. And who knows, maybe it'll be another 10 years like this. Don't know. Maybe they'll upgrade something else. I don't know. In the meantime, you guys get out there, customize your stuff, think outside the box, and do something awesome.